Jack A. Goldstone's The Theory of Social Revolutions presents a nuanced examination of how societies experience transformative upheavals, explaining the dynamics that drive political, social, and economic change. Goldstone, a distinguished sociologist and historian, focuses on the interplay between structural conditions, political institutions, and individual agency to explore why revolutions occur and what shapes their outcomes. His theory integrates insights from history, sociology, and political science, offering a comprehensive framework for understanding the complex nature of revolutions. Core concepts of Goldstone's theory. Goldstone argues that revolutions arise from a combination of structural tensions, weakening state capacity, and the mobilization of discontented groups. He identifies three key elements that contribute to the emergence of revolutions. 1. Demographic and economic pressures. Population growth, resource scarcity, and economic inequality create underlying stresses within a society. These pressures often lead to rising grievances among marginalized groups and intensify competition for resources, leading to social unrest. 2. Political crisis and state weakness. The inability of political institutions to manage conflicts or adapt to changing circumstances exacerbates instability. When a state loses its legitimacy or fails to deliver essential services, it becomes vulnerable to challenges from both elites and the masses. 3. Elite discontent and popular mobilization. Revolutions often require the participation of disaffected elites who defect from the ruling coalition. These elites provide leadership and organizational resources, while mass mobilization provides the numbers and energy necessary to challenge the status quo. These factors do not act in isolation, but interact in complex ways, creating conditions that are ripe for revolutionary change. Goldstone emphasizes that revolutions are not inevitable but are contingent on specific historical and social contexts. The role of demographics. Goldstone places significant emphasis on the demographic dynamics that contribute to revolutions. Rapid population growth, especially among young people, can lead to pressures on land, food supplies, and employment opportunities. This creates a pool of discontented individuals who are more likely to participate in revolutionary movements. For example, the French Revolution of 1789 occurred during a period of rapid population growth that strained the agricultural economy. Similarly, the Iranian Revolution of 1979 was preceded by a demographic boom that created economic and social tensions. Goldstone's demographic approach highlights the importance of understanding long-term structural trends in analyzing revolutionary processes. State weakness and legitimacy. A central theme in the theory of social revolutions is the idea that state capacity and legitimacy are critical determinants of stability. Goldstone argues that revolutions often occur when states fail to adapt to economic and social changes. This failure can take various forms, such as fiscal crises, corruption, or the inability to enforce laws and maintain order. For instance, the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 can be attributed, in part, to the state's inability to address economic stagnation and political corruption. Similarly, the Arab Spring uprisings of 2010 to 2011 were fueled by widespread dissatisfaction with authoritarian regimes that failed to meet the needs of their populations. Goldstone also discusses the role of ideology and cultural factors in shaping state legitimacy. Revolutionary movements often frame their struggles in terms of justice, equality, or national identity, appealing to shared values that resonate with the masses. This ideological dimension is crucial for mobilizing support and sustaining revolutionary momentum. Elite dynamics. Another important aspect of Goldstone's theory is the role of elites in revolutionary processes. Disaffected elites, such as military leaders, bureaucrats, or intellectuals, often play a pivotal role in challenging the ruling regime. Their defection weakens the state's ability to maintain control and provides revolutionary movements with leadership and strategic direction. Goldstone highlights the importance of elite coalitions in determining the success or failure of revolutions. For example, the Glorious Revolution of 1688 in England succeeded largely because a broad coalition of elites, including nobles, merchants, and military leaders, united against King James II. In contrast, revolutions that fail to build inclusive coalitions often descend into factionalism or counter-revolutionary violence. The outcomes of revolutions. Goldstone's analysis extends beyond the causes of revolutions to examine their outcomes. He argues that the consequences of revolutions depend on a variety of factors, including the nature of the revolutionary leadership, the level of popular participation, and the resilience of state institutions. Revolutions can lead to significant social and political changes, such as the abolition of feudal systems, the establishment of democratic institutions, or the redistribution of wealth. However, they can also result in authoritarian regimes, prolonged civil wars, or economic decline. Goldstone's framework emphasizes the need to consider both the short-term and long-term impacts of revolutions. Comparative analysis. One of the strengths of the theory of social revolutions is its comparative approach. Goldstone draws on a wide range of historical examples, including the American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, and the Chinese Revolution. By analyzing these cases, he identifies common patterns and key differences that shed light on the dynamics of revolutionary change. For example, Goldstone compares the French and American revolutions to highlight the role of state capacity. While both revolutions were driven by grievances against taxation and inequality, the relatively stronger institutions in the United States allowed for a more stable transition to democracy. In contrast, the weak and fragmented state in France contributed to a more chaotic and violent revolutionary process. Implications for contemporary society. Goldstone's theory has important implications for understanding contemporary social and political movements. He argues that many of the factors that contributed to historical revolutions, such as economic inequality, demographic pressures, and state weakness, are still relevant today. The rise of populist movements, mass protests, and political instability in various parts of the world can be analyzed through the lens of his framework. For example, the Arab Spring uprisings can be understood as a response to a combination of economic grievances, demographic pressures, and declining state legitimacy. Similarly, the growing polarization and social unrest in many Western democracies reflect structural tensions that could lead to significant political change. Goldstone also emphasizes the importance of addressing the root causes of instability to prevent revolutionary crises. Policies that promote economic inclusion, strengthen state capacity, and build social cohesion can help mitigate the risks of revolutionary upheaval. Critiques and limitations. While Goldstone's theory offers a comprehensive framework for understanding revolutions, it is not without its limitations. Some critics argue that his emphasis on structural factors underestimates the role of contingency and individual agency. Revolutions are often shaped by unpredictable events, such as the actions of charismatic leaders or the timing of critical decisions. Others question the generalizability of Goldstone's framework, noting that revolutions vary widely in their causes and outcomes. For example, the cultural and ideological factors that drove the Iranian Revolution differ significantly from the economic and political grievances that fueled the Russian Revolution. Goldstone's theory provides valuable insights, but it may not fully capture the complexity and diversity of revolutionary processes. Jack A. Goldstone's The Theory of Social Revolutions offers a sophisticated analysis of the dynamics that drive societal change. By integrating insights from history, sociology, and political science, Goldstone provides a comprehensive framework for understanding the causes and consequences of revolutions. His emphasis on demographic pressures, state capacity, and elite dynamics sheds light on the complex interplay of factors that shape revolutionary processes. While his theory has its limitations, it remains a valuable tool for analyzing historical and contemporary revolutions. As societies continue to grapple with economic inequality, political polarization, and social unrest, Goldstone's insights offer important lessons for policymakers, scholars, and activists. The theory underscores the importance of addressing structural tensions and building resilient institutions to promote stability and prevent revolutionary crises.